What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So for today's agenda, we have to get the E36 in the garage, but not this E36, which is my brother's E36. That E36 over there. So we do have the Booty Hustlers drift event coming up soon on, actually it's on Halloween. So I'll be out there during the day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But with how work's going and like stuff that I gotta get done around the house, we gotta start a little early on the drift prep. So we gotta bring the car in. It needs a bath, it's pretty dirty. So as you guys may remember, I took the battery out of the E36 and I put it in the E30. So that way I could get, you know, that car rolling and moving and started. Now we have to pull that battery back out of that car and put it back in the E36 so we can fire that thing up and get in the garage. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and move this car out and then we will get to it. So, battery's out of the E30 and coming over here into the E36. Batteries in the E36. This is, oh my.
Believe it what you wanna see, cause the media is lies with no honesty. Look through these people's eyes so you can see what I'ma see. Look through these people's eyes so you can see what I'ma speak. It says seeing is believing what you wanna see, cause the media is lies with no honesty. Look through these people's eyes so you can see what I'ma see. Look through these people's eyes so you can see
Never
what I'ma
thought I
speak.
needed your opinion, but it's simple that I'm wrong, cause I guess I didn't do this all alone. Never thought.
So hopefully the lighting isn't too terrible in here. We are getting the lights all hooked up. I think it's next week. My buddy's coming over here and we're gonna wire these up. That way we have more light in here. But I also had to spray down the engine bay. It's a little, you know, dusty from sitting. But oil change, here we come. What we're gonna be changing the oil with is some Castrol GTX. I like to run 20W50 in these motors, which are the M52. So far it's been great. Haven't had any problems with it. No problems ticking, especially out driving hard at the track or anything. It's been a go-to for me. Of course, these things are thirsty. They need like 7 quarts, 6.8, sometimes 7. You know, gotta check your dipstick, but it's always nice to have a little extra. So I got the oil, got my drip pan, or pan that holds my oil. I guess that's a drip pan. Now all I gotta do is grab some tools. So we're gonna grab our tools. I need a 13 and a 19 on a ratchet. So come over here. The 13 mil here is used for the cap here, which is where your oil filter goes on these cars. Now I do have an M52, but I do have a metal housing. I got that off of an M3 car and swapped it out when it was leaking here against the block. Sweet. So hopefully you guys can see under here. I'm gonna have to put the camera down real quick. Definitely think I'm gonna need a new drain plug in the nearby future, because this should not be this difficult. go. So the oil doesn't actually look too bad. It's I don't know if you can see it, but there's still some color in it. Still a little bit of gold. It's not entirely black, so that's a good sign. So while the oil is draining, we're gonna come over here. I actually have tires on order, so I'm waiting for those to show up, and then that way we can actually get them mounted. These are my brother's old wheels that I'm actually going to be borrowing for the drift event. Just because it's always nice to have extra sets of wheels with tires on them so you don't have to go back to the tire guy. Granted, I do not mind paying Andy. They always do a great job, but it's always just easier on us to bring an extra couple sets. Now the other thing is too is the fronts of these are 8.5, as where the backs are 9.5. And on my car, I'm actually running M-Pars that are 9.5 squared. But the problem that I always run into, see if we can move this. So the problem that I always end up having with running 9.5s in the front, which I would not recommend, is I get a lot of rubbing right here on the inside. And I also get a lot of rubbing, oh there it is, here on the frame rail. And if we push this guy this way, I also get a lot of rubbing in the back and also right here on the inner of the car. And I think I've actually hit the subframe a couple times. So we have to drop back down to an 8.5. I am running, I think, an inch spacer on here just to give it a little extra width up here in the front. Those are major issues, like the rubbing on the inside of the fender. You could be going full lock in a corner if you get the car to bounce a little bit. The nose does bite because the tires do grab. Now, I did raise the car up about a 1/2 inch, I think, not too long ago, and drove it around, and that actually seemed to help out significantly. So we're gonna try to get those 8.5s on with some tires and see how that does out at the track. Try to get some more power before we can get some wider wheels, you know what I'm saying? Well, still draining. It's like 7 quarts that has to drain out. So, but the plus side is, we're gonna be running 8.5s in the front. So that's gonna give us more clearance inside the fender well, so that way we are not rubbing on the inside or inside the frame rail or anything like that. It should give us an inch extra of clearance that allows for that. And then back here in the back, we are still gonna be running 9.5s. That's what this M-Par is. And then that's what those reps that my brother has that are gonna be going on. You know, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm still trying to fill in this this fender gap here, you know. These big Duck Club over fenders are amazing, super solid. They work great, they take a beating. The only part that I had to rip off was this part, but that was when the car was really low. And I just put the motor in actually when I did that, and I went to back it out of my old driveway and it caught the tire and just decided to shred it. But I mean, I was also pushing it and that's why it ripped. So that's why this little corner here. I tried to drift stitch it, but it was already pretty torn. So you have to look into getting a new kit from Big Duck Club. Well, it's down to a little baby drizzle now, so let's go ahead and put this bolt back in here. Clean this area since there is a little bit of dirt and grime in here. Just gonna go ahead and put this guy back in here. And of course, it's always nice to clean up oil leaks and everything so that way you can later find the leak and see actually where it's coming from. So I do know that the rear main seal is leaking a little bit, which is, you know, common, I guess. So that is going to need to be done, but I have to drop the transmission to do that. So that is a task in itself. So that'll be for a later date, but it is something that we are going to get done. Make sure she's snug. So normally what I like to do is put a couple paper towels inside the box that the new filter came in. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this here. Pull that guy out. Set that down here. And we'll go ahead and pop the cover off. Set that there. And then we're going to pull out the old filter. And put it in there. That way we don't have leaks and stuff getting all over the place, and then throw it in the trash. Okay, so this is the tool that I use here. It's like a little pick. You just get inside the edge here. You pop this guy out, and we'll throw that in the trash. And you can go ahead and get your new one here. You're just gonna set this thing on here like that. Make sure it fits in there nice and good, like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the cap back on here, like that. And of course, we took that little crush washer off, and we are supplied with a new crush washer to go on. So then that sits right in there. And we get our bolt. Goes right back in there. We'll go ahead and tighten this up. Sure it's nice and snug. So now that all the oil's in there, we'll go ahead and put our cap back on, like so. And we're gonna go ahead and get this thing back down on the ground, and then we're gonna fire it up. Alright, so buckled into the car. About to go take this thing out for a test drive real quick, make sure everything's good. Totally a cop back there, so I'm trying to get back home as soon as I can. Well, so I think it's pretty much gonna end the video. Putting the car back in the garage right now. So yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I promise it's only getting better. Peace.
Writing lines cause I feel like the champ. Heavyweight first place, who could expect to get slapped? I'm running laps round the competition, thinking no last. I just laugh, take a sip as I go and